I am going to deal with the 5 aspects that I found the most important in the book entitled The Gospel of Sustainability, which has as a subtitle Media, Market, and LOHAS. LOHAS mean Lifestyle of Health and Sustainability, and this book aims at describing the roots of this new way of life. As a starting point, I want to speak about several definitions because to understand concepts such as sustainability, we have to look in a dictionary to catch the whole meaning of the concept. What is good in this book is that it provides open-minded definition of this central concept, which is nowadays at the heart of the debate. Firstly, it has been defined in the 1987 report of the World Commission of Environment and Development at the meeting on the needs of the present without compromising the one of future generations. The problem of this definition is that it is not clear enough of which generations are we talking about. A part of the population perceives sustainability negatively, as for them that calls to mind what is necessary for survival rather than encouraging the human race to think of quality of life. However, defenders of sustainability and LOHAS share positive appreciation of this concept. How it is repeated in the book that environmental change can improve our lives. On top of that, Emmerich defines it as the methods and practices that replenish and nourish rather than extract and deplete the raw materials that compose and support a system. A broader definition was born. Sustainability is not solely linked with environment, but relevant to other parts of our lives, including our health, happiness, and collective well-being. To go on, let's talk about capitalism because it is as criticized as valorized by LOHASians. LOHAS is at the crossroad because it wants people to transform capitalism, rejecting the current capitalism characterized by take, made, waste worldview based on a narcissist consumer culture into a conscious capitalism. So, it begins with the theory of the American dream. In fact, people were supposed to meet success whatever their social origins. But it turned out to be a nightmare as consumerism ended with the 2008 crisis, the destruction of environment, poverty, and alienation. Material aspects are not meaningful anymore. As Gandhi said, capitalism as such is not evil, it is the wrong use that is evil. Given the power of capitalism, LOHAS wants to keep the system as the engine of the change, but wants to reshape it into a conscious system. Instead of buying to prove quality of life and freedom of choice, citizens must focus on values rather than material aspects. Everybody knows that companies are at the heart of capitalism, so they are part of the solution of LOHAS. They must be at the core actor of the transition to conscious model. As they are generally more powerful than institutions and governments, they must inspire them. And we must note that doing business and being LOHASian is very consistent. The second main actor of capitalism is obviously consumer. Consumerism has been the greatest social change in history. It is a proof of consumers' power to reshape the system. Companies are acting to answer their needs and specificities. So, if consumers change their habits and expectations, companies will follow and the whole system will act in the same way. LOHASians, by resisting to the current system, promote a new lifestyle full of symbols. In fact, symbolism of what we eat, drink, wear, and invest in is a statement of what we think. In this way, consumerism can be understood as a service to sustainability. As I have just mentioned, everyone's micro-action can have a huge impact at the social level. 77% of consumers agree to be able to make a positive difference buying products from socially responsible companies. That shows that LOHASians are conscious that change begins with individuals. We are not creature, we are creator. What counts is not the direct impact of what we do, but the regularity of our micro-actions. LOHASians think that every day is Earth Day, and that a little good action in the long run can have a significant impact on the society and planet well-being. Small acts add up to big picture change. Furthermore, both media and market are used as a tool by LOHASians. In fact, to create a community and spread a new lifestyle, our authorities have the role to play. On the one hand, media is a dialogue that reflects society and influences publics. And on the other hand, free market is seen by LOHASians as innovative and inspiring. Concerning media, They are part of the signification process. In fact, they are supposed to tell the truth, especially in our society, which is defined as mediatized. They not only generate ideas such as LOHAS concept, but also contribute to circulation of these ideas. That is why publications such as LOHAS Journal has been created. But is LOHAS a mainstream or alternative lifestyle? It is commonly defined as progressive, but LOHAS products are now available in mainstream groceries like Walmart. Moreover, publications specialized in LOHAS tend to look mainstream to attract advertisements, so they are not as specialized as they used to be. Media have been shaping society for many years with their hypodermic effect. They suggest public lifestyles such as LOHAS. They encourage people to live, consume, and behave in this way rather than another. Consequently, they shape community of people who share the same interests and habits, giving them factual information about environment, for example. To finish this book study, I want to put forward another paradigm, which is holism, because it is part of the LOHAS approach. Holism means that problems has to be solved with a global understanding as the world is made by interdependent parts that make up the world. It is especially relevant today to use this paradigm as we are living in a globalized world. Act in a holistic way, people need to be conscious of their social and environmental impact and power. They must have a social mind and intention in all of their actions. Furthermore, the author puts the emphasis on the positivity of LOHAS because people need to fulfill their own dreams. In other words, self-development should add value to the world. My last part is dedicated to individuals once again because authors truly want that we understand and remember the role that we all can play in the environmental and social shifting that is occurring at the moment. We should fulfill our personal desire and uniqueness because if we want to heal the world, we first need to heal ourselves.